Hello, my fellow humans and aliens. How y'all doing? I'm Callie. My pronouns is Z, and there, power to the people. Let's get into the story time. So, guys, don't mind my hair. I just washed it, and it's like puffy now because I have dreads. So, if my hat don't look proper, it's because my hair is all, you know, wet and puffy. So yes, so let's get into the story. This story is gonna be about how I miss my daughter's birth. Wait. Hear me out for a minute. I know. How could a mother miss the birth? Well, it's possible. I know it sounds funny. It sounds weird. But hear me out for a second. I was 19, if that's important. I realized that, the due date came and nothing. I'm like, okay, should I call the doctor? I'm like, sometimes you could wait at least a week. And then if nothing happens, then I'll call my doctor. So a week go by. I called him. He said, give it a few days and then come back and see. I was like, okay. So at this point, 2 weeks go by. I called. I'm like, yeah, it's been 2 weeks and nothing. I'm not even in active labor. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then he's like, oh, well, this sounds like emergency. So we're going to have to call the hospital, get you in, do, what do they call it? Induce you and all that stuff. So I was like, okay. But in the meantime, try to see if you could do some things to, jumpstart labor. So I read online that if I eat pineapple or jump up and down or do some type of exercise, then that will work. So I did all of that. Still nothing. No pain, no labor, no nothing. I'm getting worried because, if a baby stays in you for too long, essentially overcooked, there's so many things that could go wrong, like baby eating their own poop, which is not good for their health, and potential, death. So I was getting worried. So he calls and they gave me a date to come in. So I go in. So I called him back and he was like, still nothing? I'm like, still nothing. He's like, okay. At this point, it's seeming like it's about to be an emergency. So let me call the hospital, get your stuff ready, and let's get you in. So he does all of that and I go in. I went in for them to induce me. So I was like, okay, I went in to get induced and everything. So they strap the things up to my belly and everything. And they're checking her heart rate, checking my heart rate and everything. Which I don't understand how the hell they messed up. You're going to see how they messed up. So they keep coming in the room and checking my dilation. And every hour or 2 hours, they're checking. I'm not dilated. I'm not even moving. I'm only at 1 centimeter. I'm not moving. Keep in mind, they already broke my water. I went in from a Friday at noon, and still nothing. Friday midnight, didn't even move from 1 centimeter. And they're like, okay, give it till tomorrow. I'm like, okay. I don't know what's happening again. Again, it's my first pregnancy. I'm 19 years old. I don't know what the hell is supposed to be happening. All I know is that I'm overdue and it's not good, because if you're overdue, there's a lot of complication that could happen. So, all right. So they're doing their thing. So they think they're doing their thing. I realize nothing is happening. So they all came in again and they're checking. And at this point, they brought in a resident, and they're practicing. They asked me for permission. I was like, okay, I'm okay with it. It was this guy. He was so sweet. He was very, very sweet. So he's there and he's checking my dilation, and he's just he's screaming. I'm like, okay, it's okay. He's like, oh my God, I'm hurting you. Every time I move up, because, you're going to move a little bit because they're, So Every time I move, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm like, dude, you're not hurting me. It's your job. I get it. Okay. Let's just get it over with and like get the process going. And he's like, okay. So he's there doing that now. And this is like, now it's Saturday, like 8 o'clock in the morning. They came in, they checked my dilation, still nothing. I'm over it at this point. Like, my cousin was there, her dad was there, and my cousin's daughter was there. So at this point, I'm like over it. And I'm like nothing's happening. Like, and I don't want to do a C-section because I heard all the horrible stories about C-sections, guys. Like, I didn't want to do that. So I'm there all day Saturday, nothing is happening. Sunday, still nothing. So they're talking to me about it. They're like, yeah, you haven't moved from 1 or 2 centimeter at all. Like, I don't know what's going on. So they're checking the heartbeat to make sure that her heart rate's still pumping, because keep in mind, they broke my water from Friday. Okay? And it's now Sunday. So my dad comes down and they're talking to me while my dad is in the room. My dad is so embarrassing, y'all. He's so embarrassing. So they're talking to me about it, and my dad is in the room, and they're like, yeah, the dilation, it didn't move, and your cervix is really hard. And my dad start laughing, and everybody's looking at him like, why are you laughing? I'm like, Dad, what's so funny? I kid you not, guys. My dad looked at me and said, this was his impression. I'm like, Dad, why are you doing that? He's like, no reason, I'm just, it's funny. I'm like, Dad, what's so funny? Like, I'm irritated. I want to go. I want this baby out. And he's like, well, if you were doing what you're supposed to be doing when you were pregnant, your cervix will be soft. I was like, no, he didn't. And the nurse is cracking up, and my cousin is like, did he really just say that? I'm like, did he really just say that? And her dad is like, he did just say that. And I'm like, what the hell? What is wrong with you? Like, my dad is just too much. Like, he thinks he's funny, but Dad, you're not that funny. Well, he's funny, but like, there's a time and place for everything, okay? That was so awkward, and it was so like, did he really just say that? But yeah, I was like so embarrassed, but everybody was laughing. But anyhow, so they keep checking again, because I realized that they're starting to get worried at this point, and so was I, because nothing is happening, and I was here from Friday, and now it's Sunday. So they started talking to me about taking the epidural. Guys, I was so against the epidural. Like, I knew that I didn't want to take it even before I was even pregnant. When you think about pregnancy and how you want to deliver, I knew that epidural was out the question for me. Like, I was so against it. Then she told me I have to get an epidural. Like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, but I don't want to. She's like, well, you see, what happened was at this point, it's going to be emergency C-section because, your water's been broken this Friday. It's now Sunday. So you have to do a C-section. When I heard the word C-section, it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell? So I was like, why do I need to do a C-section? Guys, this is when they told me why. So you remember how in the beginning I said when they hook you up, they're supposed to check the centimeter and the weight and like the height of the baby and your stomach, so that way they know how far along you are? Well, the doctor and the hospital fucked up. Guys, I was only 7 months pregnant. 7 months pregnant. Do you see why she wasn't coming? Do you see why I was not dilated? Huh? And I'm just like, are you serious? They're like, yeah, but we can't go back now because we already broke your water. I'm 7 months pregnant. That's all I'm thinking. 7 months. She's not even cooked yet. Like, she's undercooked. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was so upset. I was so angry. But I couldn't even, like, get as mad as I would have, because I was more worried about the C-section and, like, going to surgery and how scared I was. And I was, like, praying my ass off that, like, nothing goes wrong. There was just so much happening that day. So that's what happened. We went in to do the C-section now, and I told her dad, like, because once I was going into for the C-section, I ended up getting sick, which was a big red flag for me to be sick and going into surgery. You could imagine what happened after that. Like, by the time I was in the room, to the operation room and everything, I was like super, super sick. So it turns out that I ended up catching some type of infection. I don't know if the utensils were clean. I don't know, or it could be for the fact that my water has been broken since Friday and now it's Monday. So they go in the room and I'm telling her dad, I'm like, I don't feel well. I actually feel like I'm going to pass out and I'm scared. I don't know if this is going to be it in a sense, because I was thinking about that too. Thank God it didn't happen. But I had a camcorder and I told him to record the whole thing, because when you have a C-section, they cover you and everything. And I already knew I was not going to be coherent to hear her cry or So I told him to record it and he said he will. He dropped the camcorder. So when he showed me the camcorder, all I saw was him turn it on and it hitting the floor. So I don't even have a video of her being born. All I have is him telling me stories of how it happened when she was born, and I'm kind of jealous. Like, he get to see it and I didn't, but like, thanks to the hospital. So all of that happened now, and as you know, she's 7 months, so she was in the NICU, and yeah, me and my baby didn't come out of the hospital for like a month because with me being sick, it turns out that I had a really bad infection during the C-section. Bars. And I end up back in the emergency room. It was the hardest moment for me knowing that my baby is in the NICU because she's way underweight. She's a preemie. And now I'm sick where I have to go to emergency. So we're not even on the same ward. And like, the thing is, I can't leave from emergency to go to the NICU for multiple reasons. One, they don't want me to potentially bring back any type of disease or germs or viruses and anywhere close to the NICU, because NICU is where all sick kids or premature kids are at. And two, I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to like walk again. With the infection that I had, like I couldn't even get up to use the washroom. Like I had to have help. And like at 20 years old, you don't want to experience getting a sponge bath, but I did get a sponge bath. It was awkward. Yeah, it's because I was so bad. It was so bad. I could have lost my life. My baby could have lost her life. Thank God we're still here. She's now turning 9 in July. So I'm very happy and I'm very like appreciative of how things went. But yeah, I had to learn how to do certain things. Like I couldn't even use the watch. There's more that went on, but like it gets gruesome. So I'm not about to tell. I hope to see you guys next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments down below. It's greatly appreciated. Mwah. And have a good one, guys. Stay safe and be positive.